Every morning, millions of people over 40 wake up with the same question echoing in their heads. Why do I still feel so tired? You've changed your habits, tried to eat better, cut the sugar, walked more, even joined that yoga class everyone swears by. You go to bed earlier, you drink more water, you try to relax, and yet, when the alarm rings, your body feels heavy, your mind foggy, and your motivation slips away before the day even begins. You might blame it on age, on stress, or maybe just a bad week, but the truth runs deeper. What's happening inside your body isn't laziness or lack of willpower, it's a silent hormone war. One that's been quietly draining your energy, reshaping your mood, and rewriting how your body stores fat. This war isn't loud or visible. It hides in the small moments. When your heart races at night for no reason, when you crave sweets after dinner, when you lie awake even though you're exhausted. That's cortisol, your stress commander working overtime. It's meant to protect you in danger, but modern life keeps it permanently on. And when cortisol stays high, it silences melatonin, the hormone that lets your brain rest and repair. Without proper rest, insulin, your energy manager, begins to misfire. It stops burning and starts storing. Researchers from Harvard and Stanford call this the metabolic storm of modern aging. Your body thinks it's helping, but it's stuck in survival mode, saving every calorie, flooding your system with alert signals, and stealing your deep sleep. Over time, that invisible storm turns into visible symptoms: fatigue, irritability, stubborn belly fat, and that sinking feeling that something inside just isn't syncing right anymore. It's not all in your head, it's in your chemistry. And once you understand that your hormones aren't enemies, they're soldiers fighting a chaotic war without leadership, you can finally stop blaming yourself for feeling this way, because if you've been doing everything right, but still feel tired, moody, and stuck in a body that won't cooperate, maybe it's time to stop fighting yourself and start understanding the silent hormone war that's been quietly running your life. And the first step to ending it is learning how it began. Because this story doesn't end with exhaustion, it begins with awareness. Stress used to be simple. Thousands of years ago, it showed up when we were chased by something with teeth. The moment danger passed, the body relaxed. Cortisol dropped, melatonin returned, and the system reset. But modern life never gives that signal to stand down. Every unanswered message, every late-night email, every thought that keeps looping in your mind tells your body you're still in danger. Your hormones listen and obey. Cortisol rises like an emergency siren that never shuts off. It sends blood rushing to your muscles and floods your brain with alert chemicals. You feel restless, wired, and anxious even when you're doing nothing. At first, it feels like focus and drive, but day after day, that emergency mode burns through your reserves. The body stops repairing itself, sleep becomes shallow, and you start waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, mind spinning. When cortisol stays high, insulin gets confused. Instead of delivering energy into your cells, it keeps sugar floating in your blood, thinking you'll need it to fight or flee. What happens next? Your body stores more fat, especially around the waist, because that's its favorite place to keep emergency fuel. Then, melatonin can't rise at night because cortisol blocks its signal. You toss, you turn, and the night becomes another battlefield. Harvard research shows that people under chronic stress can have cortisol levels double those of relaxed adults. Over time, this rewires the brain's stress circuits, making it easier to trigger and harder to calm down. That's why a single argument or a bad night's sleep can spiral into days of fatigue and mood swings.
The brain forgets how to shut off the alarm. Inside, this hormonal misfire becomes a closed loop. Stress raises cortisol, poor sleep lowers melatonin, insulin spikes, energy crashes, cravings rise, and you start the next day even more tired. It's not lack of effort, it's a chemistry trap. Your body is stuck thinking life is a constant emergency. The worst part? You've probably normalized it. You call it just being busy. But your body doesn't see a calendar, it sees survival. And as long as that silent alarm keeps ringing, no diet, supplement, or workout will truly fix your energy. Because before you can heal the body, you have to quiet the war inside it. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. Every hormone is an instrument. Cortisol keeps the rhythm, insulin carries the melody, and melatonin softens the notes when it's time to rest. For decades, they played together beautifully. But under chronic stress, the conductor starts losing control and the music turns into noise. That's when the real chaos begins. When cortisol stays high for too long, it tells your liver to release glucose, a surge of quick energy meant to help you escape. But you're not running, you're sitting at your desk, staring at a glowing screen. Insulin rushes in to clean up the extra sugar, storing it in fat cells for later. Yet, later never comes, because tomorrow brings the same stress, the same signal, and the same storage. Over time, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin's knock on the door. That's insulin resistance, the silent bridge between fatigue, weight gain, and that stubborn belly fat that seems to appear overnight. Meanwhile, melatonin tries to whisper its nightly lullaby, but cortisol keeps shouting over it. Harvard studies show that even mild stress late in the evening can delay melatonin release by hours. That's why you toss and turn even when you're exhausted. Your brain is trapped between alertness and shutdown, a twilight state where real recovery never happens. As nights shorten and sleep quality crumbles, cortisol climbs higher the next day, insulin spikes again, and the cycle tightens. Your body, once balanced, now runs on emergency fuel 24 hours a day. The result? Brain fog in the morning, cravings by noon, emotional crashes by evening. You feel like two people, the one trying to be healthy and the one sabotaged by invisible chemistry. This is the chain reaction no diet or supplement can fix because it's not about willpower, it's about rhythm. When one hormone loses its beat, the rest follow out of tune. Your energy dips, mood darkens, and motivation fades. The body is simply reacting to mixed signals, doing its best to protect you from a danger that never ends. But here's the truth. Your hormones aren't broken. They're confused. They're trying to save you from a world that never stops demanding more. And once you understand how each of these signals connect, cortisol keeping you alert, insulin storing the excess, melatonin losing its cue, you begin to see that this isn't a personal failure. It's a biological feedback loop that can be rewired. And that's where the turning point begins. Not in the gym or the kitchen, but inside the command center of your hormones. There comes a point when your body stops whispering and starts pleading. At first it's subtle, a little more tired in the morning, a few extra pounds that won't leave, a brain that feels foggier than it used to. But as the silent war drags on, the system that once protected you begins to collapse under its own defenses. The same hormones that once saved your life are now burning you from the inside out. Cortisol, once your shield, becomes a slow poison. It breaks down muscle for quick energy, leaving you weaker even if the scale doesn't change. It dulls your immune system, steals nutrients from digestion, and keeps inflammation simmering just beneath the surface. You start catching colds more easily, your joints ache, and your patience shorten.
Small annoyances feel bigger because your brain is running on fumes. Insulin joins the mutiny. It keeps storing even when the cells are full. The more it stores, the hungrier you feel. You reach for quick fixes, coffee, snacks, that just one cookie, anything to push through the fatigue. But every spike leads to another crash. Your body stops trusting its own hunger signals, and the belly fat becomes a stubborn vault that no longer opens. It's not vanity, it's survival gone rogue. Then comes the final soldier, melatonin, waving a white flag. Nights blur into restless loops. You fall asleep, but never rest. Your brain tries to clean itself, to wash away the chemical clutter that builds up during the day, but the process freezes halfway. That's why you wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. And with poor sleep comes higher cortisol the next morning, the cycle tightening like a noose. Stanford researchers describe this as biological burnout. The body still functions, but efficiency drops, like a phone stuck at 10% battery all day. You can move, but not thrive. The mind grows impatient, emotions become fragile, and even joy feels heavy. You may start wondering, is this just getting older? But it's not age, it's imbalance. A symphony that's lost its conductor. The breaking point isn't when the body collapses, it's when you stop hearing its warnings, when exhaustion feels normal, when irritability becomes part of your personality, when you accept fatigue as your new baseline. That's when the silent war has won. But here's the truth, it can still be reversed. The body never forgets how to heal, it just needs the signal that the war is over. When you finally realize that the war inside you isn't a lack of effort, but a lack of peace, something shifts. The fight turns into understanding. Healing doesn't begin with another diet, another plan, another promise. It begins with giving your body the signal that the danger is over. Because the same chemistry that breaks you can rebuild you once it feels safe again. Cortisol, the stress commander, obeys your habits. The first step to silencing it is rhythm. Small, consistent acts that tell the nervous system we're safe now. Start with breath. Deep, slow breathing lowers cortisol in minutes, not hours, minutes. It tells the brain to switch from defense to repair. Add movement, but not punishment. A 10-minute walk after meals helps insulin do its job again, clearing sugar from your blood and reminding your body that food is fuel, not fear. The next signal is light. Your hormones read light like a language. Morning sunlight tells cortisol to rise naturally and sets the timer for melatonin to appear at night. But when you flood your eyes with screens until midnight, you're sending the opposite message. Stay alert, the war isn't over. Harvard's Division of Sleep Medicine found that even 1 hour of blue light delays melatonin release by almost 40 minutes. That's not a sleep problem, that's a timing problem. Then comes nourishment. Not restriction, nourishment. Stable blood sugar calms both insulin and mood. Protein in the morning, fiber through the day, magnesium-rich foods at night. These are not trends, they're biochemical negotiations. Every balanced meal tells your hormones that the emergency has passed. Your body listens and begins to exhale. And don't underestimate stillness. Stress is noise, recovery is quiet. 10 minutes of silence or gratitude journaling can drop cortisol as effectively as light exercise. The brain learns that peace isn't laziness, it's strategy. When cortisol lowers, melatonin rises, sleep deepens, and insulin finally gets the memo to stop storing and start burning. The war starts losing oxygen. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Choosing safety over urgency again and again until your body believes it. Because healing isn't dramatic, it's rhythmic. And once you learn that rhythm, you stop managing symptoms and start restoring balance.
That's when your hormones, once at war, remember they were always meant to keep you alive, not exhausted. The truth is, your body has never been your enemy. It's been your most loyal ally, even when it seemed to betray you. Every sleepless night, every craving, every ounce of stubborn weight was never an act of rebellion. It was a survival strategy. Your body wasn't failing, it was protecting you in the only way it knew how. And the moment you stop treating it like a battlefield, it begins to heal in ways that science still finds astonishing. Healing doesn't arrive with fireworks, it comes quietly. In the first morning, you wake up without dread. In the afternoon, when your energy doesn't crash. In the evening, when your mind finally settles. That's the sound of hormones remembering their rhythm.
Cortisol easing off its post, melatonin reclaiming the night, insulin learning that food is no longer a threat. This harmony is not magic, it's biology restored. The secret isn't a supplement or a new rule to follow. It's presence. It's listening to what your body has been trying to tell you for years, that constant tension isn't strength and rest isn't weakness. It's the intelligence of nature reminding you that peace is the default setting, not the reward. Researchers at Stanford once described recovery as the art of controlled surrender. You don't win the silent hormone war by fighting harder. You win by no longer giving stress a reason to attack. You breathe. You move with intention. You eat with patience. You sleep with trust. Over time, the fog lifts, the cravings fade, and the mirror starts showing not a younger version of you, but a calmer one. And here's the beautiful irony. Once your hormones come, your motivation returns. The same chemistry that drained you now fuels you. Energy no longer needs to be chased, it's generated. Because your body, when respected, pays you back with loyalty beyond measure. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember this: every deep breath, every quiet choice, every early walk in the morning light, it's not small, it's strategy. You're not just surviving. You're rewriting the script your body has been following for decades. The war ends when awareness begins. And in the next chapter, we'll explore the silent partner of your hormones, your gut, and how the trillions of microbes living there might be the missing link to lasting balance and calm energy.